Figured out another button. Hey y'all, how you doing?
You walked in with a grin, tail wagging wide again. Everybody stopping just to see. Every nose wants to know where you get that happy glow. You're the cutest pup in this whole town, oh, can't you see? Folks whisper when you trot on by, like, who's that fluffy superstar? Right, let's give 'em something to bark about, a little woof to howl about. Let's give 'em something to bark about. Oof in love, oof in love. Jumping puddles in the yard, chewing shoes like it ain't hard, chasing after every squirrel inside. You got style, you got flair, first flying everywhere. You turn every ordinary day into highlight. Neighbors peeking through the blinds like, there goes that dog again. Let's give 'em something to bark about, a tail wag stroll around the block. Let's give 'em something to bark about. Woof in love, woof in love. Maybe we're fetching, maybe we're playing, maybe we're just outside misbehaving. But you and me, pup, we're living out loud. Every walk feels like a parade. Every night you've got it made. In a cuddled up dog dream, dreaming proud. Let's give 'em something to bark about, a howl at midnight kind of shout. Let's give 'em something to bark about. Woof in love, woof in love. Woof in love, woof in
Hey everybody. I find new buttons every time I turn this thing on. I hope I am coming through loud and clear. I hope y'all got to hear my song that Mr. Paul Voss uh, sounds of Voss Life did for me, and I just love it. The words just get me. Hey, Ninja, welcome. Glad you found me. I figured out a button today that I think was my issue the other day. So, hey, if I keep doing this, maybe in a year or two, I'll have it all figured out and know what I did wrong or what I did right. The other day, when I couldn't get it to come on and went straight to YouTube, I figured out today what I was doing wrong. How are you doing, Ninja? Did all the wildfires get out in Florida? I hadn't heard anything lately. I'm hoping no news is good news. Sure was a mess, looked like. We we had a mess here in Camden. Good, good deal. Did you get a notification today? I, I was trying and I got on X trying that. I have never been a big Twitter user, and in fact, I couldn't even figure out how to say something on Twitter a while ago, but I was doing it in a hurry, so I hate to admit, but I do admit the boomer stuff is just it's what it is, you know. I hope everybody is doing good. You're on a cruise. Wow. That's something I've never done. I've got three good buddies that showed chihuahuas with me, and they love to go cruising. And we kind of talked about having going on a cruise together, but one, in doing what I do for a living, I technically have had one vacation in 40 years, and that was because of Lions Club and a 2 week trip to Australia, which was amazing. Um, and couldn't say no to all expenses paid trip to Australia. But I've also been a chicken. For some reason, I see the big waves and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I don't know that I would enjoy it. Where are you headed to? Um, like I said, I got three good buddies that love to go on cruises, and a good friend of mine that lives here just went to Alaska. I believe that was summer before last, and she had a great time. But that's something I just had never decided to do. You know, I say my vacations is when I get to go to dog shows, and that to me, when I get to go and spend the weekend with my kids, that's a fun weekend to me. Got one in my lap that's I do not trust Cotton up here with the rest of them. I'm afraid she'd go flying off. She's such a little clown and climber. She can uh, get on stuff that I've never had a chihuahua get on before. And in Carbo Rojo today and Dominican Republic tomorrow. Well, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. But yeah, I was saying Camden was in a mess, and I was extremely blessed. I'm sure some of y'all saw the video I posted. The It was actually just a tree limb, but a big limb uh, that went over my living room. Instead of the wind took it just right, and it landed right beside my van. And Darla, she parks her truck there, but had went and got donkey feed. And because she had pulled her truck on down further, if it had been where it normally parked, it would have been right across her truck. Um, but we were extremely blessed. It got um, it was just one of them deals where, you know, being in South Arkansas, once the weather is not too bad or whatever in the Little Rock area, which is 100 miles north, um, you know, they kind of quit reporting, and I was asleep, and Darla come woke me up and said, you know, this isn't looking real good. And so got up and put the babies in the bathtub, and had been up. We were watching it on when they did break in on the news, but we actually got on YouTube and was watching the storm chasers, and they kept talking about softball size hail. That was about 45 minutes from here, and we were like, you know, this don't look good. And then they kind of started downplaying everything, like it's fading out. It wasn't a tornado. Um, so after about 30 or 45 minutes, I was like, well, I'm going back to bed. Everything's good. And I probably hadn't been laying there 5 minutes till I heard a big boom. and that was that tree falling. And like I said, we were extremely blessed. A lot of Camden had damage. We had three fires. I was talking with our mayor at church yesterday, and she said that one of the power lines that came down caught a house on fire, and the two beside it. So the poor Camden Fire Department guys were out there at 2 o'clock in the morning during the middle of this storm trying to put out a fire with power lines everywhere. And thankfully, nobody was hurt or killed. Um, I, the guy that came and one of my good customers that brings his dogs to daycare, he had his tractor all over town helping people, and he unfortunately knew of a guy that tree fell on his dog pen and killed two of his dogs. So that was heartbreaking to me. But it's just when you live in the area where it's, storms and stuff like that can pop up, you kind of, I'll never forget 1979 was when we had a tornado hit Camden big time. And we had damage at the house I grew up in. And then the little area that's not a half a mile from here had a little shopping center and stuff, and it was just wiped out, and all the neighborhood behind that shopping center. And it was a scary deal. And when they start talking about softball size hail, I had a Volkswagen at the time, and when I went out, you could take a softball, and it was perfect size for the dent in the fender of my Volkswagen. And I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken at the time and had all the glass windows, around the entrance there. And I remember hollering at the guys in the back because we had a big crowd being a Sunday afternoon right after church. And I was saying, we got to get these people in the back. And so we started, turning off the grease and trying to get people. And of course, the windows were getting broke. And I was so scared about my mom and dad, if they were okay. And mom was worried about me. And finally, she made her way to where I was working, and my first concern, because I'd heard on the scanner about somebody on a road near where I lived at the time having a heart attack, and my dad had had some heart issues, and I was just so scared that it was Daddy. And so my first question was, is Brownie okay? And Brownie was my little Chihuahua mix that lived to be 27. And she actually, during all the excitement, Mom and Dad had ended up in the bathroom, and there was a drive-in theater behind our house. You went through a cow pasture to this theater. Hey, happy welcome. And my dad's, we had a sliding glass door, and he had stood there and watched that theater blow down. And that's when he got concerned. And him and Mom had both got in the bathroom. Where during all that, Brownie was left outside on the carport. And Dad had a refrigerator that he was getting rid of, and you know how you tie the door back or whatever, make sure kids can't get in there. Well, that Brownie had gotten that refrigerator and the door shut. And right after the storm was over, Dad walks out and opens that door back, and Brownie was in that refrigerator. And we think that's the only thing that saved her because everything was blown around. it messed up the roof, but it was really weird. The suction and all, it moved the frame of the house off of where it was supposed to be, like just inches. And, basically you'd have to tear the house down to fix it back perfect. But, and I'll never forget, when you're a kid and you want to be independent. Well, Dad had a shop in his garden shed, and I had turned that shop into my make believe apartment, so to speak. And I played guitar, and so I had my guitar out uh, in there, and of course my stuff, my bedroom, and the whole house shed was gone. I mean, gone. In fact, the floor of it was on my the neighbors across the street on their porch, and so it's just like it blew up, and uh, we're all walking around, and I was sick about my guitar being, destroyed. And there was probably about a half a mile from my parents' home. Uh, there was my guitar case in that pasture. And man, I'm so excited. Wasn't a scratch, dent, nothing on it. And opened it up, and my guitar had exploded in the case. It's just so many weird stuff like that that happens. You just never. I mean, it always amazes me. And what was wild about this storm the other day is I had been in Oklahoma, Tulsa, at the dog shows there, and there'd been a thunderstorm come through that Thursday night, and it was loud. And being on the second floor of the hotel, I mean, I don't think Pam or I one got any sleep. And about 45 minutes from where we were was Enid, Oklahoma, that got hit really bad, and the Air Force Base, and houses just totally destroyed. So to get back to Camden and then deal with weather, it was like, okay, this is enough. But we have really enjoyed this past weekend. It's been in the 60s barely, and in the 40s in the mornings, which is weird, into April and May weather. But it's been a gorgeous weekend. So how's Happy doing? I've been missing you guys. That we were out of power for a couple of days. But the worst thing was the tree hit the cable line that run our internet and stuff. And so not we didn't have TV or internet for like 4 days, 5 days, and you just don't realize how much you depend on it until you don't have it, and it just was getting kind of crazy. Uh, and thankfully, because Ben came by and cleaned the tree up for me, the cable was right at a pole right near where that tree fell, and the cable was under it. So I'm sure they would have came and looked at it and say, well, you got to get the tree up. So all that happened the day before, and probably within 30, 40 minutes, the guy had our cable fixed. So Happy's got the AC on. Yeah, it's warmed up here today. I'm sure it's probably in the low 80s. I went out a while ago for a minute. It's not as cool as the weekend was for sure. But I have been missing you guys. I said, Lord, what is this deal with trying to get a show going twice a week? And it seems like every time I turn around, there's an issue. Are you leaving me? Are you leaving? You gonna tell them, Bob, that you got something to do, people to see, things to do? Mm-hmm. Did you change your mind? Did you change your mind? So we got a dog show. The Dallas Chihuahua Club shows are this weekend. And Cotton and Believe are entered, so we will see how that goes. It was funny. I had Believe at the Ruston, Louisiana shows, and it was a red dirt floor with just a covered arena. And Believe wouldn't even walk on a leash on Thursday. And, that really humbles a dog trainer when you got a dog out there and she had all four brakes on. Like, nope, I'm not going to do it. And she was a little better on Friday and better on Saturday, but then we went on Sunday. And I was like, are you kidding me? But was tickled to death. And then we get to Oklahoma, and I'd never been to this show, or if I have, it's been years. Certainly not with Chihuahuas, but it was a huge building. And just when you walked in, there was the hum of, everything going on. I never did look to see how many dogs was entered, but I would guess probably 1,000, 1,500 dogs, because it was like a Wednesday through Sunday show. But Believe was like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Hey, Venom, welcome. Glad you joined us. Glad you found me. Glad I can be here for the main deal. Is glad I get to do this. It ain't for not wanting to. And I didn't even have my phone. Well, one, I was using up my coverage like crazy, or data, or whatever you call it, with no Wi-Fi. But I was having trouble just, being able to check the news or anything. We kept telling people to call us if another storm was coming, because when you don't have TV and internet, it's almost like going back to the old days where you don't have nothing. um, and yeah, thanks, Venom. Yeah, I'm very tickled that, like I was just saying, some of the people had it way worse and had damage to their homes. Uh, Saw lots of pictures where the trees, went all the way through the house, but very people were so blessed that we didn't have injuries or deaths, because it was that that scary. And Camden's not that big of an area, but I mean you'd have to go, like Darla was going to go check on our buddy Doc Betty, my retired vet, and she's about probably 15 minutes from here. And she's kind of out in the country, but to get there, Darla had to go like 4 different routes before she finally found a route that she wasn't trees. Um, so what else does anybody know going on? I missed out on. I did catch Tug yesterday, uh, in and out. I had some boarders that were going home, so I, I missed some of his show, and didn't catch but the first part of Jeremy's show last night. But I'm sure, as usual, if you keep up with it every day or miss it, it's probably all the same. Just crazy is what I call it. Just absolute crazy. Why are you looking at me like that just because I looked at you? Man, to go cutting them eyes at me. Oh, did y'all get to hear my song? I know Ninja heard it the other day because I couldn't make it stop playing when I couldn't find the right button. but Paul Voss did that for me, and I just love it. It's just the words uh, when it says "woof woof" and love, it gets me every time because I just love the song, and it's so true. Oh, well, we got Venom saying, not much. I've been on with Shizzy a lot. Jeremy had dad there. Is a status here tomorrow. I believe for Florida Maho. And the 25th LP has a deep. Oh, wow. Yeah, Shizzy, I love his show, but uh he's on later than me. I'm a early to bed, early to rise type person. So if I'm awake after 8:30 or 9 p.m., usually uh, that's weird, you know. So, but what does Happy say? Be a no show again? You're probably right. Is this for the bankruptcy stuff, the depot for that, or is it? I knew there was something going on with the Fed 2 case and people getting let off, and I heard bits and parts of that. Nope, we don't. Just because y'all hear somebody barking, don't try to take off and go nowhere. We can't do that. I'll just be glad when there's some, I don't know, it's for bankruptcy. Okay. I'll be glad when there's at least something going in the right direction and Jeremy and George get a little relief. I mean, they'll never get back the money they've spent on attorneys and stuff, but it would be nice just to hear a judge tell them, you know, you can't do this, and uh, you can go to jail for what you're doing and that kind of stuff. I mean, to me, wrong is wrong and right is right. So, justice, that's the word. Happy. That's the good word. And Venom says Fed case won't move till bankruptcy ends, but I think they're trying to get the case dismissed. She once again can't find or hasn't submitted the documents. You know, and just watching this stuff, I mean, it just blows my mind. One, if I was involved in lawsuits like this, I mean, one, I'd be scared to death not to do everything, you know, that's supposed to be done. I mean, not just kind of like, oh well, you know, I don't care what you say. Yeah, I agree, Happy, that I mean, it's like they get bolder and bolder. The more things they do and get away with, we can only pray LCSO open their eyes and start applying those silver bracelets on LP and JC. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, when somebody just keeps getting away from with stuff, you know, it's like how much, you know? Because Lord, if I tried anything, I mean, one, my conscience wouldn't let me uh, do something like that, or any kind of thing that's illegal, or you know, um, what did I miss? Venom says she was so brazen again in the fleas chat last night. Well, my daddy used to always say, payday's coming, and by that he wasn't talking about a check. He's talking about, whatever you do, you're going to pay for it one of these days, good or bad. Yes, happy justice is what Jeremy and George need. Absolutely. And I just read Tug's thing a while ago on Facebook, and that's just heartbreaking. Um, Venom says if it were any one of us that did anything, any of one of them did, we would be in jail. You're right, we would. But yeah, um, Tug posting that about them trying to contact his ex-wife and uh, pulling up her arrest records or any past, and it's like, why? I mean, never met Tug, don't know him other than hearing him on the internet, but you can tell in 5 seconds the type of man he is. And when just the way he talks to that little girl. And uh, oh, welcome. Gotta love me 23. Welcome. Um, it just, like I said, the way he, is just so patient and kind with his youngest little girl, and I'm sure both of them. But you hear Bug come and get in the show, and uh, it just, why bring up stuff? Well, I'll tell you, we all know why. It's trying to hurt, and hurt people hurt, and that's all they're trying to do is get out there and make somebody hurt. Here I am, Logan, and I'm 7. My mommy is here too. Well, welcome, Logan. We're glad to have you. Do you have a dog? I have 6 of my 12 are up here right now being good. Hi, Denise. Welcome. I'm tickled to have y'all. I've just been missing you guys so much, and it's not fun when you want to do something. You want back up here now? Did you have to go see what you can get into and now you're back? And this is Cotton. She don't get the chance to be up there. No, no, no. Everybody stop. Just because I picked her up, we're not doing anything. Y'all get off the edge. Good girls. I don't trust Cotton. Venom, it's not a it's by chance a lot of the time. Let's see, gotta love said 2 dogs and 5 kitties. All right. And Venom asked how to get those babies to lay so perfect. And it is an act. It is an act because I would not be turning my back if they were not showing on the screen where I can try to grab. God forbid that I have to. But, they pretty much will listen. Now, I'm not saying we don't have our moments. I got tickled at Believe yesterday. The puppy, that would be this one, I was letting boarding dogs go home, and she went running through the door and met Remy, who is about a 65-pound, she's a mixed breed, but a brindle, beautiful dog. and all of a sudden Believe is nose to nose with her, but it didn't scare her. I figured it would make her turn around and run back to the house, but she didn't. Now I figured Kelsey's gonna start waving. Usually when she gets in that position. Oh, let's see. Gotta love me says I have a golden doodle, Boo, and a Shih Tzu Scruggles. We have lots of doodles that come to daycare every day. Boo's your big sister service dog. Yeah, they're very smart, very smart. Ben said when I was younger we had a Chihuahua and her name was Chicky. She was supposed to be my grandmother's dog, but she was y'all put the fuss in. Uh, but she was my grandpa's girl. He walked in and she only wanted him. Yeah, and they tend to do that. You know, that a lot of people say one person dogs, and that's that's pretty much. I mean, like Kelsey, she loves everybody. No, no, let's not have ear cleaning time. We don't need that. We have the cleanest ears in Camden because no, no, stop, stop, good girl. She tries to keep all their ears clean. No, no, please. But like goodness gracious is Darla's dog mainly. Now I'm here all the time, so and it just hurts. No, we're not waving at Cotton. It hurts Darla's feelings if she's home, and usually if I'm sitting down, there's at least 3 to 5 chihuahuas in my lap at all times, and when goodness gracious gets in my lap too, uh, it just hurts Darla's feelings so bad. Let's see. My mama trained her. She's my sister's service dog. Cool. That I love when dogs are used to their full potential. Cat baby blue cleans a dog's ears. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, no, that's the thing. She she does that all the time, and sometimes the others don't want her doing that, and they'll be a little cranky with her. But I guess for the most part, they like it, so because they let her do it. And now it looks like a Bandigo's gonna. Y'all don't do all the cleaning and licking. Oh, you's licking Believe's ears and face. I tell you what, no, Kelsey, no, busy. We're busy. That's their word. I've taught them is busy, and pretty much when I tell them that, they'll listen and stop doing what they're doing, or if they're trying to do something or people coming in, I tell them that. Doesn't always work, but it's supposed to. Y'all don't get to moving around up there. There's enough room, but there ain't a whole lot of room. Now you don't clean her ears, Kelsey. There's no need for all the ear cleaning. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me today. Uh, let's see what Willem said. They're just too cute. My girl's a Beeson mix. Thought we got a Jack. By the time she hit 5 months old, her ears were standing bigger than her head. Yeah, especially if you got a Beeson hound ears. That's some big ears. I got to laughing about Believe's ears. I kept having so much trouble getting her to hold them up. We'd tape them and tape them, which is common with Chihuahua ears as puppies, especially when they're going through teething. But now, and she was doing it yesterday, I took a picture of her. We call it her turn signal, and one ear was straight up, and the other ear was completely flopped like a hound dog. And I'm like, we got a show this weekend, and you've got to have both ears, but it's kind of a mood thing too. Let's see. Venom said, I'll post some pictures this week on my live. Cool. I'd love to see that. Love to see it. Gotta love me says, like my nanny. And Happy says that's her Lucy. She's all ears. But y'all see how she's kind of flopping it right now. I mean, it was just flat as a pancake. And it's just her mood. I don't know if you can see in this picture up here, but the one with the two flopped ears in that picture is Jewel, my girl. I lost a couple years back and just heartbroken. But Darla had taken that picture of them laying in a bed, and Jewel's ears were totally her mood. If she was in a good mood or whatever, but if she didn't care or didn't want to do something, them ears would be flopped. I mean, you take care, Barks. Love you and the pups, and prayers to you and yours and everyone who had issues with the storms. Thank you so much, Venom. Hey, Maria, welcome. Well, we've been going almost 45 minutes, and that is a new one for me, and had good. Got the notification. Well, I'm learning. Venom, I have 12 Chihuahuas, and my joke has been, how many Chihuahuas does it take to equal a whole dog? Well, with our 12, we have 34 pounds, just barely 34 pounds. So basically, I've only got a medium-sized dog. But no, it just, when Promise, my first one, had her first litter, we two of them girls are still here, and Pastor the daddy, and they just, situations kept happening, and if they're happy, I'm happy. If, just like I've let two of my girls go that were a year old, that was really tough. I had my little black and tan girl, yes, and maybe her sister, and I had a lady, a customer, and let them take maybe, and then just a couple, 3 months later, they were wanting a partner. No, y'all wait. Busy. And so, I want them to be the happiest they can be. What's one ear up, one ear down? We call that oopsie up and oopsie down. Yeah. Darla calls it her turn signal when she's got her turn signal on. Boo weighs like 80 pounds. Wow. And not once. Gotcha. Well, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. I am planning as of right now for being here Wednesday at 2:30. There is a little question mark because I actually am having a PET scan Wednesday. So I would appreciate any and all prayers and good thoughts. Some of y'all remember I broke my rib a month or so ago when I fell out of the bed and told everybody I've been bull riding. Well, the doctor saw something on the x-ray, so they wanted me to go get a CAT scan, and I did that, and they saw something on the CAT scan, so then they're wanting to do a PET scan. And I'm just believing that everything's good, no issues. But I do have that Wednesday morning at 7. So I'm hoping to be back here uh, and no issues. But I would appreciate a prayer too, because, anytime they start talking that C word, it is scary. And, but thank y'all for joining me. And I hope y'all have a great rest of the day. And we will see y'all on Wednesday. And I'm going to play my song, Leaving Out. Have a great day. Love y'all. One at a time. Let's see.
Tail wagging wide again. Everybody stopping just to see. Every nose wants to know where you get that happy glow. You're the cutest pup in this whole town. Oh, can't you see? Folks whisper when you trot on by, like, who's that fluffy superstar? Right? Let's give 'em something to bark about, a little woof to howl about. Let's give 'em something to bark about. Oof and love. Oof and love. Jumping puddles in the yard, chewing shoes like it ain't hard, chasing after every squirrel inside. You got style, you got flair, first flying everywhere. You turn every ordinary day into highlight. Neighbors peeking through the blinds like, there goes that dog again. Let's give 'em something to bark about, a tail wag stroll around the block. Let's give 'em something to bark about. Oof and love. Oof and love. Maybe we're fetching, maybe we're playing, maybe we're just outside misbehaving. But you and me, pup, we're living out loud. Every walk feels like a parade. Every night you've got it made. In a cuddled up dog dream, dreaming proud. Oh, let's give 'em something to bark about, a howl at midnight kind of shout. Let's give 'em something to bark about. Wolf and love. Wolf and love. Wolf and love. Wolf and love.
Love y'all. Have a good one.